This is This Week Life with Jack and Cody. So a lot of upsets this week, Jack. Me, myself, I'm not upset. My boy Malik Willis took us to Victory Town. However, Jack, you might be a little upset. Your Eagles lost. Some questionable play calling at the end there. You wanna talk about it a little bit?
I know.
The floor a little bit here.
I actually didn't even think about what I was wearing today. It is black though, technically, so I'm sort of, even though I'm repping my boys, I'm in mourning a little bit. I think that is the big story from the Birds game, is the coaching call to pass on 3rd and 4th instead of just run the ball with Saquon. And I don't think you could totally rip the coach for the type of play that they called. Don't get me wrong, I still think that they should have run it. Saquon was getting like at least around 5 yards every single time he touched the damn ball. But if there was a passing play to call, they called the safest one. You jam it.
I mean, he was wide open.
He was wide open.
And dropped it.
You
can't blame Blake play calling on a drop pass.
No. And if you look at the whole game, who were the playmakers the entire game of last night? Obviously, shout out Smitty with a touchdown, and he was having a good game with A.J. Brown down. But it was the Saquon and the Jalen show. So, big play alert. It's for the game. 3rd and 4.
Yeah.
Yes, you should run the ball, but if you were going to pick any pass play, you do a safe play action roll out to the flat, and he had it.
It was there, man.
It was there, man.
Now, I do have a question I want to ask. I don't know if you saw the take that our friend Mike said in our group chat earlier today.
I don't remember.
So he basically said Sirianni is just as good of a coach as Brandon Staley was. He benefited from inheriting a good roster. How do you feel about that one?
I disagree because
also an interesting fact. You know the game after the Chiefs where he's like, "How about that, Chiefs fans?" Talking about Sirianni.
Yeah,
he's now 2-7 since that game.
Yes. No, I like how Sirianni's a little chippy. I think it's the Philly way. I think he eats into it a little bit too. He feeds into it. But Brandon Staley is not comparable to Sirianni in terms of their record at all.
And we also can't act like Staley didn't inherit a good team either. You had Herbert, Eckler, Keenan Allen.
No.
Decent defense.
No. I agree. I agree with
Staley was just a terrible coach.
Yeah, I agree with Mike that he went into a good offense and a good roster and benefited for a little bit with it, but he kind of pissed the bed really quick on it. You know what I'm saying? In Nick Sirianni's first year as a coach, they made the playoffs. Second year, Super Bowl.
Third year playoffs
again.
To be determined.
Yeah. Well, it's only week 2. So. Although it is only week 2, I do want to ask you about the Packers game.
Oh, man.
Your thoughts on Mr. Malik.
Before I get into it, I need to make a formal apology. Last week on the show, I said I had absolutely no trust in Malik Willis. I thought he was terrible up to this point.
Mm-hmm.
But man, when I tell you this man came out,
slinging the rock,
shoved his
explicits
somewhere down the Colts. You know what?
Mm-hmm.
Malik Willis, I know you're not going to watch this, but if you happen to, I'm sorry. From the deepest depths of my heart, I am sorry, man. You was throwing some dimes out there, man. That Dontavion Wicks touchdown, my boy.
I actually didn't see that.
I mean, that was a dot. I mean, he had a nice throw to Dontavion Wicks on the other side. He had a nice deep pass to Dobbs. I mean, he only 12 completions on 14 attempts. But man, I mean, some of his throws look pretty good.
Yeah.
Funny story out of that game too, with that 1 3rd down call where he ran the ball. It was a called pass play. The center Josh Myers threw up on the ball, so he couldn't throw it, so he ran it.
Really?
Fun fact. Yeah, so
he threw up.
The center threw up on the ball and then snapped it, and then Malik Willis couldn't grip it, so he's like, "Shit, I gotta run."
Was that on live television?
I don't know if the throw up was, but LaFleur and Malik Willis both after the game were like, "There's throw up on the ball. You couldn't throw it,
dude."
So yeah, Malik. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry, and I'm also sorry to Jeff Haley. You know, last week after the game, I was very skeptical about his defense going forward.
Yeah,
and granted, I know it was one game.
You chirped about Jeff Haley.
I was chirping.
Episode. Yes, you did.
But boy, oh boy. And I know the question you asked me was, did Green Bay win or did the Colts lose? I fully believe Green Bay won this game. They played some shutdown defense. Offense did what they had to do. I mean, didn't light the scoreboard up, but like I said, what did I say last week? I think Green Bay can win this game if it's a low-scoring game, and that's all it was.
It was
they pulled it out, and
AR was nowhere to be found. He was nowhere to be found.
Another fun fact: so Jeff Haley bashed last week, but Green Bay all last year had 7 interceptions. They already have 5 after 2 weeks.
Wow.
Javon Bullard, dog, only had one pass thrown towards him, pass deflection. Xavier McKinney already has 2 picks on the year. Jair's looking shut down. One guy I worry about on this defense, Quay Walker. He hasn't been looking good at all. Filling the wrong holes. He's missing tackles. He's just not doing what your middle linebacker should do. So if there is one thing I'd like to see improved is, Quay Walker improve on that. But other than that, man, that defense looked phenomenal.
Only second year for Quay, right?
This would be his 3rd.
Oh, okay.
But this is his first year really taking the helm as the leader.
Yeah, he's with the big dogs now.
But yeah, I mean, if you can fine tune his game, I mean, this defense is going to be, like I said, first game shaky. Blame it on what you want to blame it on.
It was still close though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like I mentioned in the last episode, even though it was a loss of the Eagles, it's not like you guys bent over. Like, it was close the entire game.
Yeah,
and then now...
if the defenders were able to catch their feet, I feel like we talked about, whatever you want to blame it on. But man, if this defense plays like it did Sunday, man, I'm excited.
Yeah. It's funny, you mentioned the question that I asked of, did the Packers win or did the Colts lose? I want to kind of run that by you for the other upsets that happened this week, and I want to get your take, because there were at least 7 upsets this week, which is actually kind of insane.
Yeah, when we were doing our pick'ems, you were like, "Oh, there's got to be more upsets." And I said, "Jack, don't get in your head.
Yep.
Can't get in your head." And
we should have got more in our head.
It was the week of the underdog this week.
Yeah. Well, NFL is just so unpredictable. So we did the Packers already. Packers won that game. I agree. The Packers won that game.
I think they won that.
With the 49ers in the Vikings game, did the Niners win or did the
I don't know. I think the Vikings, that's another one. I think the Vikings won. Darnold's been playing very well this year. I mean, granted, the Niners have put on the best show, but
that 70-yard play.
I mean, Jordan Mason still had 100 yards. Purdy had a decent game. Kittle caught a touchdown. Minnesota just, I think I know we bashed Dan Orlovsky in the past, but he said it. They were just outcoached, and I think that's what happened.
Yeah, I mean, they look pretty hot. Sam Darnold, I don't know what he's been doing the past couple of years sitting on the bench, but whatever
I always believed in him. But, I mean, it's just the teams. I mean, you look at it, and we'll get into this later when we talk about Bryce Young, but, I mean, you look at guys like Sam Darnold and Baker, both played in Carolina, and they're both terrible backups.
I was going to mention
look at them.
Yeah, they're thriving.
Started, and they look good.
Look what happens when you leave Carolina.
Yeah, I mean, you can make the argument Baker could be probably is a top 15 quarterback right now, and Sam Darnold, if he keeps this pace, you can make the argument he can get up there too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I don't think you could count out Sam Darnold. I think it's always hard when a quarterback is on a bad team. Like you said, we're going to talk about Bryce Young. That's some news that we're going to talk about in a minute. It's just so hard when you get drafted into the NFL on a team that has a top 5 draft pick. They earn the top 5 draft pick spot for a reason, and it's because their team is dog water. Mm-hmm. And I'm not talking about good dog water. I'm talking about that. I'm talking about the dog water that's been sitting in the kitchen for a couple days that
it's warm.
The dog hasn't touched.
It's got some piece of the dog food in it.
Yeah. It's rotten.
Swelled up. Oh, it's bad.
Rotten water. With that note, I'm going to pivot to the Jaguars. Did the Jaguars lose or did the Browns win? The Jags lost. The Browns did not win. Obviously, the Browns have a phenomenal defense, but when you have a team like the Jags, and I know that there's a lot of hot and cold surrounding the name Trevor Lawrence. Some people love him, some people hate him.
I don't know.
He has really not lived up to the
Clemson Daniel Jones have
standard.
Basically the same win-loss record in the NFL right now.
That is kind of insane.
Yeah.
That's not a good stat for Trevor Lawrence.
Just put it out there. I know it's not exact, but I think something around the lines of like Trevor Lawrence is like 27-33 or something.
Eerily
Daniel
close.
Jones is like right there.
Yeah, that's not a good stat to have if you're Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
The Browns did not totally win that game. Jags lost, in my opinion.
There was a lot of, didn't mean to cut you off, I feel like there's just a lot of messy games this week.
Yes.
Like a lot of just, I don't mean to, put the dagger in you and twist it, but I feel like the Eagles, towards the end there, and even all game, that one interception hurts through with like 22 seconds left.
That was like that killed me. The Devontae where he was getting hit as he threw it. I'm like, you can't force that ball. You just gotta take the sack or throw it away.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the game. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there.
I won't harp on it no more. I'll let you. Hey, you had me last week, so let me get a happy win. Let me get the win this week.
Okay.
All right, what we got next?
Now, did the Raiders win or did the Ravens lose?
See, I think the Ravens lost, and it's not a good sign. I mean, is it coaching? Is it the team? But they, in the past recent years, I think they have the most second half blown leads.
Mm.
They have gone into the second half leading a bunch of games,
Mm.
going into the fourth quarter leading a bunch of games, and they end up taking the loss. Again, I don't know. Is it coaching? Is it whatever it might be? Maybe it's just bad juju.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems to be a trend with the Ravens that they go into the fourth quarter, 10-point lead, 14-point lead.
All of a sudden,
You lost. That's probably another one. Ravens probably lost it.
Yeah, I agree. As a Lamar Jackson fan,
as a Lamar Jackson fantasy owner,
yeah, he, from watching him, as much as I love him, and he is a 2-time MVP award winner. We briefly talked about this off air, I think, last week, but the problem with Lamar is not that he's not good, because he's a phenomenal player. The problem with Lamar is that he isn't a phenomenal player 100% of the time. He'll come out and it's kind of like you don't always know what you're going to get. The inconsistency, some game days is not ideal. I mean, look back at that Browns game when he left to take a poop and he comes back and he starts slinging the rock for like the game winner, and like, he could be a human highlight reel sometimes, making people miss and throwing dimes on the run. And then sometimes he'll be in the pocket, absolutely no pressure, throw at a wide open Zay Flowers and overthrow him by 15 yards. And it's like, what are you doing, man?
Last week, I mean, he had Zay Flowers wide open, threw it right behind him.
Oh, God.
Even in the playoff game last year. Although the playoff game last year against the Chiefs, I mean, I think that was more play calling. I mean, he had the top rushing offense in the league, and I think he ran the ball, 8 times all game or something?
We don't have to talk about that one. I don't want to talk about the Chiefs.
Speaking of, what are your thoughts on that pass interference call? It was close.
It was
iffy.
It was iffy, and as a biased Eagles fan, I am willing to admit that I just have a hatred for the Chiefs more than the average Joe.
I think everyone hates them.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I feel like it's becoming normal now to be like the Chiefs.
I mean, it's this generation's Patriots. It's either you're a Patriots fan or you're anyone but the Patriots fan.
Yes.
Like right now, you're a Chiefs fan or you're anybody but the Chiefs.
Yes. And I saw a stat the other day. It's something like the 15th game that the Chiefs had over the past season or something, where like they get more flag. The other team that they're playing
like 17
gets
straight
more
games
flags.
or something.
Yeah. Like,
I also saw something. My source is my friend Chris on this one. Apparently, since Mahomes became a starting quarterback in 2018, he has the most interceptions overturned by penalties. Take it as you want.
That is insane.
Take it as you want, but I mean, it seems like we see it like
so often.
And
the fact that it's always at the end.
It's always at the end too. You never see
always,
it first, second quarter. It's always in the most crucial times. And like you said, it's not every so often.
It's noticeable.
And when it does, like bad calls happen.
Mm-hmm.
But it always seems like the Chiefs are on the benefit
receiving
side.
End of it. Absolutely. They always
bad calls happen.
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
But I mean, like we said, the Chiefs
are consistently
17 games in a row, I think,
flags.
or something. I know exactly what you're talking about. That the other team has been flagged more than them, and Mahomes having the most interceptions overturned by penalties.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
Am I a hater?
I
Yeah.
am. I'm a hater. I'm proud
But
to
also,
say. You
gotta look at things like that.
No, it's important. All right, moving on to the next one quick here. Did the Lions lose or the Bucks win? I think the Bucks won.
That's one I could think can go either way. Because like we said, Baker has been playing very well. There were some late lines on 4th and 8, threw it behind the sticks.
Mm-hmm.
Can't do that unless, it's a design play. But, I think it was to Laporte or something. I forget the actual completion, but he caught it 2-3 yards behind the line. The linebacker draped on him. I mean, that's one that could go either way. So I'm not going to come down to one play considering it. But, yeah, I mean, I could agree. I think the Bucks did enough to win that game. Got some late turnovers.
I've never been one to be the biggest Baker hype man. I don't think that he's done too much in his career so far. But he has been on this insane run of proving that he is actually a worthy quarterback to have as a franchise guy in this league. And I think that when you look at what he did against the Lions defense, who is proving to be a solid defense, Aiden Hutchinson has been going insane on the edge for that team.
They have like 5 sacks or something.
It was insane. And week 1, he was disruptive with Matt Stafford as well. I think you just got to give a little bit of credit to Baker. I mean, I know he's got Mike Evans and Chris Godwin helping him out, but I mean, he's got to make the reads. You know what I mean? There's quarterbacks in this league that have help that don't make those same type of reads and same type of plays. I mean, Baker Mayfield was breaking. Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams. You see that video I sent you of CJ Stroud trying to help him after the game too? He's like, when they dab each other up at the end of the game, it's like, oh, hey, man. Yeah. And Caleb was trying to he was kind of like bitter, like turning his back the whole time. And Caleb, and CJ's like, no, like, listen to me, man. Like, listen to me. And Caleb literally like turns his back to him. And CJ's like,
yeah, dude. I mean, obviously I'm being a, Packer fan here, but God, I love seeing him not play well. Oh God, if the Bears draft another quarterback, that sucks, and they go back to the well.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude, I love it. I love watching the Bears not
just
be a good team at all.
That's okay.
They're like, oh, we got our guy Caleb. Supposed to be our guy once in a generation talent, and God, he's now looked good.
Well,
you want to hear something funny?
Yeah, go ahead.
Malik Willis has more touchdown passes on the year than him.
He does. No, I'm silently rooting for Caleb Williams because I have a bet with Sean that he's going to make it to the playoffs in his first 3 years as a starter.
Yeah.
50 bones. I didn't forget, Sean. I hope you didn't.
I think we shook on that too.
I got a video of it, so.
No,
if you're listening out there, Sean, I'm rooting for Caleb.
I'm not silently rooting against. I'm very proudly and wearing it on my chest that I hope this man. I don't wish ill will on anyone. I'm not hoping for an injury or anything, but if he just has a shitty NFL career, I mean, I'm not going to be upset about it.
Yeah, if he retires and wants to become a nail stylist, then you'd be happy.
He might be better suited.
Okay, we're going to get to the second to the last of the upsets here. Did the Cowboys lose or the Saints win?
No, Saints won it, man.
Saints destroyed them.
I mean, you can't really make the argument the Cowboys lost. I mean, the Saints, what are you going to say? 42 straight weeks.
What are you going to say?
I mean, I thought, in the back of my head when we were talking last week, got the Saints, maybe it was a little fluke playing the Panthers, but doing it again against the Cowboys, they won.
Yeah.
They won. Fuck you, Alvin Kamara. I was playing in fantasy, but they won.
Oh, I had Alvin for me in fantasy this week.
I had him in one league. I had Eric had him in our money league, so obviously the money league matters more. But
shout out Eric with Alvin Kamara.
God, dude, his team literally took a shit on me this week. He had Kamara, Devontae Adams, DK, and Chris Godwin.
Ooh,
they all scored like 23 each or something. Well, Kamara had like 40. But then the rest of them had like 23 each. And I was like, there's no way I can fucking win this game.
Mm-hmm. Also, I'm pretty sure on fantasy, Derek Carr is the QB2.
QB2 to 2 weeks?
I think he's QB2 through 2 weeks. I know he's definitely
He's
top 10. He's for sure top 10 because I saw it. I checked it the other day.
Sam Darnold's number 3, I believe.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That's crazy. That's fantasy football for
That's
you.
insane. The final one of the week. Do you think that my Philadelphia Eagles, either my Philadelphia Eagles lost or the Falcons won?
I mean,
we lost.
I'm going to let you answer first. What do you think?
Eagles lost. Eagles were in full control of the game at the end. Even though the score should have been different, we still had control of the game in the end of the fourth quarter, and we whiffed. And I don't think you could 100% blame it on play calling. I know we already talked about it earlier, could have ran the ball, but we lost that game. The Falcons, I give credit to Kirk for going down like he was prime Tom Brady. He's silencing all the haters about the primetime talk. He's back. He's back.
Like we said, week 1, a little bit of rust.
Yeah.
Was better this week. Darius Slay got cooked like my dinner tonight.
Yeah, he was playing inside. He was playing inside coverage on Drake London, and what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I mean, I hate to say it, but I think the Eagles lost it too. That last third of Devontae, where he threw the interception to end it. I mean, probably not your best throw to make there.
Absolutely not. No, that's another thing to mention too. You can't force the ball there, Jalen. I mean, you had one timeout and I think somewhere around the ballpark of like high 20, low 30 seconds left in the game.
They usually needed a field goal to win.
Exactly. We could have gone down the field. You can't make that decision, man. I mean, I hate to be the Tuesday quarterback, couch quarterback here, but live to play another down. You know what I mean? Throw it away or even take the sack at that point. All right.
Yeah, I would agree with you.
Yeah, we lost. But it's only week 2 and we could figure out all those kinks. So that's fine. 1-1. We're tied to the Cowboys, which you hate to see, but it's still super early.
It is. All right, so we'll move on past the upsets and upset Jack. Pretty big week of news though. We got Cooper Kupp going on IR. We have Pacheco out for I believe 6 to 8 weeks. They said. They just announced Puka Nacua going to be out 7 to 9 weeks.
Puka Nacua.
Whatever his name is.
Puka Nacua.
We got Evan Ingram still questionable. AJ Brown.
What about Puka? What about Tua?
Tua. I mean, yeah, Tua. I mean,
dude, what about?
A lot of people said he should retire. He came out and said he's not retiring. He's going to consult with concussion specialists, which you're probably 2 concussions late on that one.
Throwing up gang signs out here.
But I guess that'll be the one we'll jump into. People like Antonio Pierce, head coach of the Raiders, said, "Man, just hang it up. You're going to live longer than you play football." What do you think? Do you think Tua should, hang it up or?
I think when DeMar Hamlin rocks your shit, you got to start thinking about hanging up the cleats. And that's not. I'm joking. I'm just joking. I'm joking about DeMar. Shout out DeMar Hamlin. He's a dog for coming back. I wouldn't have come back if I was DeMar.
No.
And that being said, I wouldn't come back if I was Tua. I mean, if he got concussed 5 times in his career, little concussions, and then this happens, all right, come on back. I mean, this man's gotten rocked. He's gotten licked. I'm talking licked like a lollipop.
They're not little ones. Like even like you made the gesture, but I mean he down and that's just not a little concussion. When you're spazzing, your hands are doing whatever you're doing. Sign language, whatever the hell you're doing. I mean, those aren't good, man.
Scary.
And that's already your second one.
Yeah.
To that, severity. I mean, I agree with the guys like Antonio Pierce. I mean, you hate to see it. He's still young and just got his big contract, but what's going to matter in 20 years? Your health or your money? Because if you're not in good health, what good's the money to you?
Part of me admires Tua for constantly coming back, and there's a great interview I remember watching with Nick Saban admiring Tua, saying that when Nick Saban asked Tua after a big hit or something like, "Hey man, are you good? Are you good? Are you okay?" "Yeah, I hit pretty bad." Tua's always, it's never "I'm not good." It's always he walks it off. He gets back in the huddle, and I do admire the fact that he's come back as often as he has. He's still just like a phoenix from the ashes. Just he comes back and you're like, why is he coming back? After this one, I can't control him, and people who love something in life, they're going to pursue it. If it's their passion, if Tua really loves football and he thinks he's got 5 years left in the tank and he wants to just keep going, keep pushing the limit, dude, no one can take that away from me and get back in there. But try and help yourself a little bit more. I say that if he's going to come back, to just start sliding, start being more conscious of that.
Leading with your head into some dude's chest pads, probably not your best idea. I was gonna say that.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Especially as a guy who has a history of concussions.
Skull. Yeah.
You probably shouldn't be leading with your head. So if there is any piece of advice as the Tuesday armchair quarterback, just slide, man. Just start sliding or run out of bounds, or just come on. I mean,
part of me thought it was
the thing is though, like he comes back. Say he comes back, he takes another hit. I mean that's got to be it. Your fourth one. Yeah. Like that's got to be it. I mean, I can't imagine where he would get another concussion and just keep going. Like if I'm the owner of the Dolphins, or if I'm like working for the NFL, I'm gonna be like, dude, you got to step away, because down the road, as the NFL, you're gonna get a lawsuit. You know what I mean?
You think they can get a lawsuit for that? I think they go through so much legal stuff.
There's so many former NFL players that have come out and sued the NFL
successfully.
I mean, I don't know if successfully. The NFL, they're going to brush everything on the carpet and make it non-public, and no one's going to know. But there's a bunch of lawsuits against the NFL against former players and injury settlements. I mean, and that's just another one if you let it keep happening.
I hope that players can do that. My mind immediately goes to Tyrod Taylor puncturing a lung because the physical therapist injected him the wrong way. And I see that, I'm like, oh, the NFLPA, he's got his back. He's going to get a bunch of money from that. And it's like, I don't know, all those papers they sign, they get drafted and they come in. I think it's kind of one of those things where you're getting a multi-million-dollar deal. You kind of sign your life away to a degree. I hope that that's not how it is, but I just worry that players, unfortunately, don't get that kind of justice and don't have that insurance where, if Tua wants to come back, it's kind of on him.
It is.
I hope that it's not on him.
Best. I mean, I've always liked Tua as a player, and something to worry about.
Yeah, especially if you're a Dolphins fan. Unless you're a Skylar Thompson fan. Shout out Skylar Thompson for getting your shot again, brother.
They sent Huntley, but whatever. But did you see the thing that Tua contemplated retiring before last year? No. Tua almost retired before last season, and ended up getting paid, and that probably brought him back for another year. But
he's like, I think I'm gonna retire. It's like, cha-ching. I think I'm gonna come back, brother.
But to be already considering it, and this happening. I'm sure he's not far off from retirement. If he was already considering it before this,
he's got to be close.
I'm thinking if there is one more, then that's definitely it. Whether he comes back this year, whether it's next year, I think one more, even just minor concussion, I think that's the end. I would imagine that's the end.
Yeah. Speaking about quarterbacks, though, legendary Crimson Tide quarterback on the Carolina Panthers was pronounced benched for the Red Rifle Andy Dalton the other day, and I need to know what your thoughts are on this.
So my thoughts are that on one side of the argument, you look at Bryce Young and his numbers. They are comparable to Jamarcus Russell's. His numbers are bad.
Really?
Terrible efficiency numbers, just terrible numbers. However, on the flip side, something we talked about before with Sam Darnold and Baker, both moved on to the Panthers and are now having
successful,
revitalized careers.
Yeah.
Bryce still young. I'm sure there's a team that'll trade for him.
Bryce still young.
Look at a team like Giants, the Raiders. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Gardner's playing well, but is Gardner your future? Probably not. There's some teams that I think, depending on his price tag, you trade for him. And I think it's too early to write him off, but I wouldn't blame the NFL and teams if they did, just based off, what we've seen.
That's my hypothesis, what you just mentioned on why he was benched. They are keeping him healthy to try and trade him somewhere.
If you're benching him after a year and 2 games,
It's insane.
The only thing that's going to do is hurt his confidence.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. You can't come back now.
It's going to kill his confidence.
You can't come
Especially, back. It's not like he had a backup, like, I mean, it's Andy Dalton.
Yeah.
The dude, he, had a, decent career in his prime, but, I mean, he's been a journeyman ever since.
Mm-hmm.
Back up here, back up there. And you're benching your number 1 overall pick, future quarterback for a 37-year-old now journeyman backup.
A rental, yeah.
I mean, it's not looking good.
No. I'm assuming that the Carolina Panthers are kind of just putting him on the bookshelf to catch any wandering eyes who might be like, oh, I'll throw you a 4th rounder. I'll throw you this.
And that's what it's got to be at this point. I mean, if he's really your future, you don't bench him. Just keep putting him out there. And every game, because obviously at this point 0-2, and you got blown out in both your first 2 games, and I mean, you just don't look good as a team. You're not gonna take reps away from them.
No,
he's your future, and that's all you're doing.
It's the old adage: if you have 2 quarterbacks, you have none, and it also just totally destroys a locker room and a team's chemistry with each other. I mean, if you're a wide receiver, let's say on the Panthers, and you've been getting this chemistry with Bryce Young as the guy, he's got to be my leader. He's the leader, right? And then something like this happens. It's like, oh, well, now Bryce isn't the leader. I need to look for this other guy's going to be the leader, and I have to develop chemistry with this next guy. Mm-hmm. And then what happens if they start doing the Patriots game with Mac Jones and Bailey Zappi? Where now, actually, we're going to bring back Bryce, and now you're not on the same page as Bryce anymore. It just completely turns the locker room sideways. I can only imagine.
It doesn't. It stalls you out almost, because instead of really moving forward or anything, like you said, you're bringing in different quarterbacks. It's a whole new game plan. It's a whole new offense you have to make out, because Andy Dalton's not as fast as Bryce Young.
Yeah.
So you're not going to get the rollouts or the buy more time in the pocket. I mean, Andy Dalton's your 3-step read guy. Boom, ball out.
Yeah.
Whereas Bryce Young, I mean, he hasn't been too good at it at this point in his career, but he can buy you a little bit more time running around and scrambling.
Yeah.
But that's the thing too, man. He's your first overall pick, man. You traded the house for him. You traded the pick that ended up being Caleb Williams. You traded DJ Moore. You traded another 2nd-round pick. You traded so much. You can't bench him after, what would that be, 19 games?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a second. I mean, you can't. And you can't really blame him. I mean, look at that offensive line. His offensive line, terrible.
Offensive line's not great.
This is what
weapons.
This is his third. It's his 3rd head coach.
Their running back isn't great.
He's played 19 games and he's on his 3rd head coach.
And their defense is porous.
The defense isn't even that good either.
They couldn't stop a nosebleed.
It's just, I don't know. It's not a move I would make if I was part of the Carolina front office there, or coaching staff, whoever makes that decision.
I would definitely roll with him, and you just gotta hope that you could eventually add additional pieces to make him grow. You can't just stomp him out while he's barely a sapling of a tree.
I agree.
We're talking a lot about quarterbacks this episode so far, and we're gonna continue it a little bit here because we got our 2nd comment of this channel's history.
Oh, yes, number 2.
And this comment has to do with quarterbacks, and it's from username who I'm not sure, but can guess who it's from. And this guy says that his top quarterbacks of the rest of the 2024 season are number 1, Josh Allen, number 2, Lamar, 3, Patrick Mahomes, 4, Daniel Jones, 5, Jalen Hurts, 6, CJ Stroud, 7, Anthony Richardson, 8, Kyler Murray, 9, Jaden Daniels, and 10, Dak Prescott. And I'm assuming he's talking about fantasy, not stat-wise at the end of the year.
I mean, fantasy or not, I can't imagine this is real, or it's got to be satire for putting Daniel Jones at 4.
Daniel Jones above Jalen, above Dak Prescott, above Stroud.
Yeah, I mean,
they are.
kind of wild. It's funny to throw him in there, but I mean, obviously Daniel Jones has no business being on this list. I mean, your top 3 are fine.
Daniel Jones, there is something to be said about his rushing ability, but is that rushing ability going to carry him into the top 5 fantasy quarterbacks of the year?
No.
I don't think so.
Especially when he might get bashed before the year's end.
That's what I was going to say. I have a firm belief that it's going to be the Tommy DeVito show by week 6.
Drew Lock, I'm hearing.
Where Drew Lock? I know he was going through an injury, though.
Was he? I mean, at this point, there can't really be much worse.
Yeah.
Throw
him out there anyway.
Outside of maybe Daniel Jones here, I probably wouldn't put Jaden Daniels as a top 10. You know, I'd probably put Stroud above guys like Hurts and...
Yeah.
You know, I'd put Stroud above Hurts end of the year. I mean, top 3. I mean, they're interchangeable. You can put any of those 3 as 1, 2, 3. Probably throw Stroud in the top 3 personally. Kyler, I mean, the way he's played the first 2 weeks, you probably slide him up a little bit.
I like Kyler top 5.
Probably slide him up a little bit. He's got the rushing ability. I mean, Daniels 2 weeks hasn't thrown a touchdown, so I don't feel comfortable putting him in top 10 just yet.
I wouldn't either.
Richardson, you probably leave in there because he does have big playability and the rushing ability. You probably keep him there. Dak will probably get you top 10.
All right, top 10. Now,
I mean, some guys you probably throw in here over Jones and Daniels. I mean,
Derek Carr.
Carr's looking good. Darnold's looking good, but I mean,
Baker Mayfield.
Are they going to sustain it? Baker Mayfield, true. I mean, you could even think Stafford. You know, before losing Kupp and Nakua, you could probably argue he'd be a top 10 guy. Jordan Love probably only going to miss about another week or 2. You know, if he can go on a run,
if Jordan Love is healthy,
get him top 10. You can argue that.
Yeah, if he's healthy, I can see him top 10 for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate the names on here outside of Jones and Daniels. I would probably just
swap them around
a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. I wouldn't have Daniel in my top 10.
Daniels and Daniel Jones, I'd probably take out. The rest I'm okay leaving in there for now. Like I said, fill in the 2 spots. You know, Baker, Carr, Goff will, Goff will get back on track.
Yeah, don't sleep on Goff.
Stafford, I would have said before the injuries to his top 2 guys.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan Love, I mean, you can put any of those guys in there.
All right. We are going to move on to our picks of the week, and we did horrible last week.
Very bad last week, so please excuse us.
We're
going to try and do better this week.
Very bad. And it's funny because if you go back and watch the last episode, I'm sitting there, I'm like, I feel really good.
But then again, don't we always feel good?
You always feel
with
good.
our bets.
You always have
I put parlay in this week, and they had Jaden Reed at 37.5. And I hammered that over. I go, there's no way.
Did you win some smackaroons?
No, dude had 9 yards.
Oh.
Everything else hit but that.
Well, we're gonna win some smackaroons this week.
I was like, that was probably like the big. I was like, oh, there's no way. The dude just had 170 playing on a slip and slide. But all right, we're gonna do better this week.
Yes, sir. We're gonna
Jack's veto. I'll give it to you, Jack. Your veto did win last week. Mine
did not.
Should have. But they did not. Giants scored 3 touchdowns, didn't let up a touchdown, still lost. How does that happen? I don't know.
I hope that...
I would hate to be a Giants fan.
Yeah, me too.
Kyle, if you watch this, my deepest and sincerest apologies to
I hope that
whoever raised you a Giants fan or for whatever reason you picked them.
I hope that happening to you, that veto not working out, I hope that shows the light of not betting on the Giants this season.
I had to make it interesting, man.
They're going
to do it.
I bet they get 3 wins.
And it was close.
You think they get over under 3.5?
Under.
I say they get.
They probably get
4.
I think they probably get 3.
I bet they get
4.
3.
Yeah, I'll say 4 maybe. So probably go over 3.5, under 4.5.
I wonder what the odds are for that.
We'll say 4.
I wonder what the odds are for that.
But I mean, you think about it, if they had a kicker, they would have won last week.
But they don't have a kicker anymore.
Oh, you gotta go sign one.
We're gonna do better this week, though, and
we will.
We're gonna start doing better.
I feel better this week. I had a cold or something last week. I wasn't thinking straight.
Yeah.
I was so upset about the Packer game. My mind was foggy.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go though. I got a clear mind, clear eyes, full hearts. Can't lose. Let's go.
We also can't let all of the upsets last week screw with us. There's
know.
not going to be 7 again this week. We have to stick to 2 to 3, maybe 2 to 4 max.
But maybe there will be.
I don't want to.
All right, no, come on, let's not overthink. Let's go.
Let's just go with our gut. Let's go with our gut here, and we're going to start off with a Thursday night game, prime time, Patriots at Jets. This is Jet City.
I'll take Jets.
It's at home. I like them straight up. The over/under is 38.5. I think it's going to be low scoring.
30.5. I mean, your final score is probably sitting right around that. That's probably a over/under I would stay away from.
Yeah. No.
Both defenses are good. As bad as the Patriots are, their defense is always good. But I don't think they're going to score enough to keep up with the Jets. Will McDonald, 3 sacks last week. Looks like he's really coming along as the first-round pick that they had last year. I think Jets will take this. Probably a fairly low-scoring, like 20-10 affair-ish kind of game.
Will McDonald had a sack. Yeah. I'm having some fun today. All right. No, I agree. I don't think there's too much to talk about there. I like the Jets. First Sunday slate game is Giants at Browns. We just talked about this. We don't need it. I don't think we even have to talk about this.
Yeah, we'll go Browns. I'm not going to use my veto on the Giants this week.
I don't care. I don't care.
Browns, good defense. Giants probably aren't going to move the ball that much. They probably score 14 points at most.
You think the Giants get 14?
I said at most. I don't think they will, but I'll give them 14 just to be nice.
That game's got the same over/under as the Jets Patriots.
I mean, it'll probably be low scoring because I don't like the Browns offense at all yet to this point.
There's going to be a Browns defensive touchdown, by the way, too. So if you want to just throw your own, if you want to do a side bet on that.
Do you see the thing that Daniel Jones, since signing his contract, has more pick sixes thrown than touchdown passes?
I did see that.
That is disgusting.
Anyway, it's beautiful to see as an Eagles fan, but
yeah, I guess Browns at home, and I don't think there's really much to say. Although I said that again about a lot of games last week, and
there's not really much to say. I mean,
the other way,
not really much to say. Niners are kind of it's gonna be a cakewalk.
Niners are dominant. It's probably gonna be close. Yeah, we'll see it. We see what
Lions are pretty awesome. We love Jared Goff.
We love Detroit.
We're gonna move on to your rival Chicago Bears at Indy, coming off a loss of the Packers.
Both teams coming off a loss.
Spread's 1.5
in Indy. I think Richardson could have a nice bounce back game this week.
I think it's bounce back game for him.
But then again, I could also see this being the week Caleb Williams really comes to form. I'm hoping not. I'm gonna say Colts just because I can't pick the Bears. There's not a cell in my body that will allow me to say the Bears, so I'm gonna say Colts. And if you want to use your veto, by all means.
I'm saving my veto. We also didn't go over the veto rules at this point. If you don't get the veto rules,
it's their fault. They didn't watch last week's show.
Basically, we each get a veto for our bets that we could use at any time. I could use a veto to override one of his picks, and he could use one for mine.
We get one a week.
But no vetoes used. We're all in agreement.
We're going Indy.
We're going to ride with Indy at the Loud House in Indianapolis.
That's fine by me. I can't pick the Bears. I don't think I'll pick the Bears once this whole entire season, just to be honest with you.
Well, I don't know if I agree.
No, I'll try and be fair.
They're going to be better than the Giants. We can agree on that. You think it's going to be closer? If I see the Giants at 3, I could see the Bears at 5.
I mean, if Caleb keeps playing the way he's playing, I can't be like, oh, Bears easy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like it's not a confident pick.
You're right, especially if the Giants bench Daniel and someone else comes in and steals the show. You never know.
Tommy Cutlets.
All right, we're gonna continue with the Sunday morning games. Houston Texans at Vikings.
Oh. Mixed and questionable.
Really?
The status will be up in the air. So, that will play a factor. You still have Damian Pierce and Cam Akers, but they're, whatever. In Minnesota, too, which is interesting. It's tough, man. I don't know. Houston's looked too good for me not to pick them.
I say that this is the Vikings wake-up call game where they feel really hot.
Yeah,
and now they
agree.
get brought back down to earth just a little bit.
I mean, I think Mixon playing or not playing will play a factor, but I'm okay. I think I'm going to go Houston. Houston's been playing
even if Mixon
good.
Even if Mixon doesn't play, I think they get it.
It's closer, but I would still give the edge to Houston. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Stroud could throw that thing.
He could throw that thing.
I was wrong. That's another apology I got to make. I didn't think Stroud was going to be good.
Talk to spit on that thing.
I really, going into last year, I was like, man, I don't see what people think. You know, the reports on Stroud weren't good. OTAs apparently wasn't playing good last year, and that dude came out and fucking slapped his meat schlong all over me, man.
The meat schlong got slapped.
He made me fucking eat my words, and I did. And
you ate his words, and he made his meat slap. No, I like Stroud. Stroud's a dog.
He changed my mind on him really quick.
He's an absolute dog.
Very quick.
Okay, I'm gonna be quiet for this one. I just want to hear what you have to say. Philly at New Orleans.
Oh God, dude. In NOLA. I mean, Saints look
insane.
I mean, Saints look unbeatable. I mean, it's 2 weeks, but I mean, they look unbeatable.
Look, they have scored every single possession except for one,
which is insane. Which, I mean, you got to think at some point they're going to cool off.
They're playing college football in the NFL, dude.
Like I said, I mean, you got to think at some point they're going to cool off. I mean, you got to think it's still Derek Carr at quarterback, which I know he's been. I mean, it's still Derek Carr. It's still Dennis Allen coaching you. I mean, they're going to come back down to earth. Is it this week? I don't know. Philly's defense is very beatable.
Mm-hmm. They've not proven to be able to be great.
I mean, this might be. I don't know. This could be a pretty high scoring game. I'm curious what the over-under on that one.
Over-under is 49.5.
Man, I mean, I'd probably take that over, and man, that's tough. I mean, I'm gonna go New Orleans. I mean, they have all the momentum and confidence in the world right now, and Philly coming off that loss, they're probably gonna be a little down in the dirt.
I think the Saints are gonna win.
I'm gonna take the Saints, man. I'm sorry to say it, man.
No, I know.
I'm going New Orleans.
I think you're right. Our defense has not been able to play up to a super high level. And the Saints team has been electric, to say the least. I don't know who's going to stop them.
They're going to come back down to earth eventually.
But when?
I think they got one more week.
What if I
don't think they're going to put up 44 again, but I mean, I could see this game being, 30-something.
A barn burner.
20-something, yeah. I think the over hits.
Yeah. You think we should call the fire department because the barn will be burning?
Just get on standby, man.
I don't know, dude. What is in the water in New Orleans now? What did we said?
The crazy thing is,
we hate their coach.
And maybe I don't know why we're doing a show because we've been so wrong on so many things up to this point. But we both said going into the season that we didn't like Dennis Allen.
We don't like Derek Carr.
We did not think that the Saints team was be good. But man, holy goddamn, dude, we
didn't they get a new OC?
Should probably
though?
reconsider.
I think they got a new OC.
They did get a new OC,
and that could be
look at very easily be it.
That has to be it. I don't know what he's feeding him, dude, but keep feeding him.
Whatever they're fucking...
Dude.
Whatever they're putting in that freaking...
Kibble and bits.
Whatever they're putting in that Louisiana Cajun dry rub down there.
That sounds delicious. That sounds awesome.
That Popeye's Louisiana chicken, man. Keep feeding them.
I love that chicken, Popeye. Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah, man, I don't know. They've been looking good. I'm gonna go New Orleans. I think you're right. I don't want to say that you're right, but you're right. We played not well, and could there be an upset? I might come back. No, we're gonna lose that game. I don't want to lose that game. We're gonna rename our show. We're gonna rename this to like whatever we say, the opposite will probably happen. Show with our track record so far.
Well, our survivors were right last week, and my survivor was right week 1.
That's true. I mean,
And my veto was right last week.
All right, I'm being hard on ourselves. We've been right on a couple things.
Shake it off.
We've been right on a couple things.
It's only episode 3. There's not enough scientific evidence to show that we're wrong.
You're right.
We need a larger sample size.
Give us till about week 8.
No.
9, 10.
Let's just
give us the year.
You give us the rest of the year. And even if we're still wrong,
just give us a 1-year contract. Prove it, dealer.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, moving on. LA Chargers at Pittsburgh Steelers. And the Chargers are a 1.5 point underdog. And I'm not going to lie, I kind of like the idea of Harbaugh going in and slapping his schlong, like you said earlier, and being like, you know what? Pittsburgh likes to do the old school football. Let's run the ball. Let's play defense. That's Harbaugh's motive, dude. Harbaugh lives and breathes running the football and playing some old school, grimy, dirty, hairy men football. And I think it's going to at least be a close game.
It's true. But Pittsburgh likes to do that too this year. There's just something about Pittsburgh where they play just the most boring football imaginable. Mm-hmm. I hate watching them. As, you know, it's terrible because we live in Pennsylvania. We should like it, but God, I hate that fucking team. And I know we need to squeeze an underdog in, but I gotta go Pittsburgh here. I think they just play that football where, to this point, the Chargers really haven't looked that great on offense.
Did you see who scored a touchdown in the Chargers game?
Quentin Johnson for 2.
Big Q for 2, baby.
Yeah,
Look
big
at
Q
that.
For 2. I mean,
he's coming back.
He could be coming along. He could be.
It's only his second year. Don't write him off yet. Can't write him off yet.
I mean, someone's got to catch passes on that offense.
Let me ask you this: if it comes down to passing the ball, which team wins?
Oh, Chargers. It's tough. I mean, in Pittsburgh, though, like, Pittsburgh's a good home team. Yeah. I mean, they played some really boring football this year, but they're 2-0. We're at crosshairs here, aren't we? A crossroads. I want to agree with you.
I don't love it enough to use my veto. I'll say that. If you
both 2-0, right? Chargers are 2-0, right? I believe they're 2-0, right? They won both weeks. I don't know, man.
It's too.
If you're not good enough to use it, then I'll be greedy and say let's go Pittsburgh.
You don't have to use yours. We'll just settle for it.
Well, yeah.
This is just, we've agreed to this.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
But don't be
gut's telling me Pittsburgh.
But don't be surprised with that.
We can go back to it
if we need
right now. Right now, I'm leaning Pittsburgh though.
Okay. I'll take Pitt. That's fine.
And what's the over/under?
35.5.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I mean, that's what I expected, a low-scoring thing.
Yeah.
That's probably what it'll be.
Yeah.
And Pittsburgh, I mean, if it's low-scoring, I think Pittsburgh wins it.
Okay, I mean, no, I don't disagree. We're going. Let's ride. Let's just ride with Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Why don't we just ride?
Let's ride.
Like it's
Steelers country. Let's ride.
Oh, God, no. Well, speaking of...
All right, we'll go with that.
Speaking of let's ride, it's the Denver Broncos at Tampa Bay.
I'll go Tampa. Let's try the hot-handed Baker. 2-0. Denver still doesn't look good.
This one's got to be a wash, right?
It's probably, the spread's probably, 6.5?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's Bucks at home. And
Tampa's looking hot.
Yeah, I mean, Bo Nix doesn't look that good.
The weather hasn't been cold.
None of these rookie quarterbacks up to this point have looked that good.
No.
Which I don't know what happened. I mean, Stroud last year, yeah, but you look back the past couple of years.
And Drake May's hiding
quarterback classes.
Drake May's hiding behind Jacoby Brissett.
These quarterback classes have not been good. Outside of Stroud, the past couple of years. I mean, last year, Levis doesn't look good. Bryce Young is already benched.
Mm.
I mean, these past couple of quarterback classes just don't look good, man.
No.
I mean, even at the year with Kenny Pickett, you had Brock Purdy out of that year, but the quarterback in that class,
Brock Purdy.
All of them are either backups or not even on teams anymore. Matt Corral's just got cut from whatever team he was on. He's playing in like the freaking Canadian League or something.
Matt Corral.
Like
Matt Corral was taken like 5th round though, right?
Yeah, but I mean, outside of Pickett, I don't know. Malik Willis, man, might have a resurrection coming.
He might.
Desmond Ritter's not even on
Jordan Love bench for the rest of the year.
Although I will say, I know before, and we're gonna let off topic, I said Love might only miss another game or two. But if Levis wins next week, do you rush Love back?
You mean Willis? Or
If Willis wins, if they win again, if Green Bay wins again, I mean, are you really rushing Love back?
Especially if they really win.
That's what I mean. If you're 2-1, and Willis is playing, passable football, and I mean, I'm not rushing him back.
Speaking of that, those rookie quarterbacks.
But yeah, going back to that one, it's Bucks over Broncos.
Yeah, we're
I can lock that in.
We're locking in Tampa Bay. Speaking of your boy, though, in these rookie quarterbacks, it's going to be Malik Willis against his former team, the Tennessee Titans, with Will Levis.
I mean, again, it comes down to if Green Bay's defense plays as good as they did last week, I think they win again. Titans offense hasn't looked that good. Will Levis, that's one thing I did get right before the season. I did say I don't like Will Levis that much. I don't really believe in him.
Will Levis has not played good football.
If Green Bay's defense plays as good as they did last week, and Green Bay's able to score 17, 20, 23 points, I mean, I can see it pull it off. I know it's in Tennessee going on the road, but little Malik Willis revenge game.
Yeah.
I like Green Bay. Like I said, if they play some good defense, I'll take Green Bay here.
All right. Carolina Panthers.
Then I'll knock on wood so I don't jinx myself.
Yeah. All right. Moving on to the Carolina Panthers at Las Vegas Raiders.
I'll go Raiders. I think there's too much going on in Carolina. Then they're not going to be totally focused. I'll take Raiders.
Let me ask you this question before I tell you my pick.
Are you going Carolina again, Jack?
Just let me ask you a question.
Go ahead. What is it?
What happens if the Panthers win this game after they bench Bryce and the Red Rifle comes in? Just what happens?
Are you talking about season long, Carolina-wise, or?
I'm just talking about how you sleep at night. How everyone sleeps at night. How
I'll sleep perfectly fine.
How Bryce Young sleeps at night.
Bryce Young probably won't sleep that well.
He would sleep like shit.
Carolina's front office probably won't sleep that well because they're going to be like, wow, we traded all of this away
to have the Red Rifle.
First win of the season is a guy who's 6 years past his prime.
No, I'm not going to pick Carolina, but I think that is an interesting thing.
There'll be a lot of people in Carolina's front office that'll probably be very upset with themselves.
There'll be a lot of people that get fired.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So we're going to lock in Las Vegas.
I'm going to say Las Vegas.
Their defense should
It wouldn't be crazy
enough.
to see Carolina win, though.
I could see it. I could see it on a headline.
I could see it on a headline.
Red
Carolina
Rifle
wins. Andy Dalton throws for 300 yards and 2 touchdowns and leads them to their first win of the season.
Okay. We're going to lock in Las Vegas, though.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
lock it in.
Yeah.
I don't want to think it's Carolina.
I know. I can't bet on them again, dude. They broke my heart in week 1, so. But maybe Red Rifle comes in. Let's see.
I drafted Bryce Young in a Superflex league this year. Only one. You never know.
Yeah.
Second year bounce back, but
I took
the last one.
I took him in a couple.
I'll admit it. I wasn't happy about it.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? No one used the veto, and we haven't. Though.
Yeah.
The only underdog that we. Wow, wait. Packers were an underdog. Do you know that?
I do now.
Packers are a 2.5 point underdog.
I believe it. On the road.
No, they're winning that game. They're winning that game.
I hope so. I mean, I can see why they're underdogs, though. It makes sense.
We're gonna get to an interesting game here, though, and this is where I pick. This is my predicted upset.
Okay.
Tua's gone.
Skylar
Thompson's up to bat. They're not playing baseball, but it's figure of speech, Cody. Get it?
Oh, okay. Now that makes sense.
Miami Dolphins at Seattle. They're on the road.
It's Seattle. Are you really going to pick the Dolphins? You can look it up, but I don't think any time Skylar Thompson has started, they scored more than 17 points.
Is that real?
I don't know. I could be pulling on my ass, but I'm almost certain that's real. Maybe 24.
Isn't Skyler
Also, now that I'm thinking about it, he might have beat the Bills last year, 2 years ago. I don't know. Some look it up. I don't know it's Skylar Thompson lore, but I don't feel good about him going into Seattle.
One of these upsets has got to happen.
It's not this one.
Okay.
It's Seattle.
Okay. I'm gonna go with you. I'm gonna let you convince me on that one. I will refuse to be convinced on this one. I will use my veto if I have to. Because this is going to be... There is an underdog.
Is this another underdog you're looking here?
Not a crazy underdog, though.
Okay.
Detroit on the road to an underdog Arizona Cardinals team for some reason. Lions just coming off a loss to Tampa Bay. Who has looked better, Tampa Bay or Arizona? You could probably say, Tampa Bay.
No,
but it's close.
Honestly, probably Arizona, I think.
I'm going Arizona, man.
I'll take Arizona on it. I'm not going to argue with you that. I'll take it.
The spread's 3.
Home underdogs?
I know.
Let's take it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, let's take it.
Why not? All right. Let's just move on. We're going quick here with Baltimore Ravens at Dallas.
Oh, that's a good game.
God, I hate this. The spread's 1.5. And I don't want to bet on the Cowboys, just to the name.
I was going to say, I know you don't want to bet on the Cowboys.
They're coming off. Both of them are coming off a bad loss.
Yeah, Ravens own 2.
They hung in with the Chiefs the whole game.
And
the Raiders. They hung with the Raiders the whole game.
I know, but blew the lead. You never like to see that. I'm going to go Dallas at home, and I know you're not going to agree with me. So
who did Dallas play week 1?
They played they blew out the Browns. And then they got blown out by the Saints. So what do you think of them? You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm going to go Dallas. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. This could be that game that we were talking about. Lamar Jackson just goes fucking bucko wild. And
I'd love to see that. Bucko wild.
But I don't know. Dallas has been good at home under Mike McCarthy. I think they were undefeated at home last year. I'll take Dallas. I can't convince myself to go the other way. I'm sorry, man. I'm gonna force your hand here. I don't know. I can't convince myself enough to pick Baltimore.
That's okay, because I'm gonna use my veto.
You take it. That's fine. I mean,
the veto. I bet on them last week.
Fair. It's fair. I mean, do we think Baltimore goes to 0-3 though? That's another thing you got to think about.
Absolutely not.
Do we think they go to 0-3?
They can't.
What do we think Dallas goes to 1-2?
Yes.
What's more believable?
Dallas going 1-2 against the Baltimore Ravens team that hung with the Chiefs in week 1.
At home though, Dallas at home, they're good. They're one of the best. They're one of the league's best teams at home, if not the league's best team at home.
Also, Dallas is an underdog.
You love your underdogs. A home underdog. That's probably if there is a lock to pick to win some money. Not a lock, but if you want to possibly win some money,
yeah,
Dallas at home. But now it's kind of got me thinking if Vegas has that could be like a trap bet. Oh, Dallas home underdogs.
All right,
let's hammer that.
That's what we did for the Cardinals. They're home underdogs. But Cardinals, that's a good game with the Lions. Oh, it's going to be a good game.
See, my thing is I can convince myself that the Lions would win more than I could the Ravens would win. I don't know, man. I got to take Dallas at home.
I'm going to stick with the veto.
Okay, lock it in.
I think Baltimore's not going to go.
Put up the graphic. Veto locked.
Veto has been locked.
Jack takes Baltimore Dallas. All right, that's fine. That's fine.
You really think Baltimore's going to go 1-3?
Man, I don't know. They haven't looked. I mean, I know they hung in with Kansas City week 1, but there were still some bad throws on Lamar's part. Like all game, he wasn't throwing the ball that well. I mean, they hung in because their defense, I guess we'll say. Last week they blew the lead, like I said, and they haven't looked good enough where I'm going to be like, yeah, they're going to go to Dallas and win.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to see them going to 0-3, but I don't feel good enough about it. So yeah, I'm going to make you use your veto.
Okay, no, I'm fine with using my veto there. It's okay. I'm using my veto. The Ravens. Vegas has them favored for a reason, I think. We're going to move on for the 49ers at LA.
divisional in LA. I laid down their top 2 guys. I think they will more than likely stack the box for Stafford to throw these unproven guys. Although Jordan Whittington I like a lot. I don't see Niners losing 2 in a row. I'm going to go San Fran. Without Nakua and Cup, it's, it might be some tough sledding the next couple of weeks for LA.
It's gonna be a lot of tough sledding. I like Kyron Williams. Their RBs. Matt Stafford, great quarterback. You never totally count him out of any game, but Niners, I think they're gonna be playing pissed.
That's the crazy thing I saw about Matt Stafford today. He has the 5th most losses of all time.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
by quarterback.
He's on that bad line.
Who's number 3, I believe? Drew Brees.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
isn't that crazy to think?
He played in the league for so long.
That's what I mean. It's weird to think that.
Yeah. He was on the Chargers team before he got traded too, so that's kind of weird though. Okay, we're locking in 49ers. They're going to come back.
I feel good about that. Nice bounce back performance.
Chiefs at Atlanta. God love if Atlanta won.
Chiefs in Atlanta. Oh boy. I'm gonna go crazy. I'm gonna pick Atlanta. Chiefs always have that one game where they lose it.
They almost should have bet against the Bengals too.
Almost. I'm gonna go Atlanta. I'm not gonna think about it. I'm just gonna go with gut and hope and pray. I'm picking Atlanta, and if you want me to use my veto, I'll do it.
I'm never gonna complain about betting against.
All right, Atlanta. Let's do it.
Oh boy, that's a Sunday night game too. Sunday Night Football primetime Kirk.
Let's do it.
Wait, does primetime Kirk totally prove the haters wrong?
Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah, lock it in.
Let's go. It's been locked.
Let's go.
Oh man, we're gonna be watching that game.
I might have to revisit because I didn't use my veto. We're already on the Monday night game, huh?
Yeah. 2 Monday night games this week.
Okay, let's hear them. Because if I don't use them on either of these games, I know which one I'm going to use it on.
Jaguars at Bills. This is Bills every day of the week.
Take Bills, yeah. Jaguars haven't looked that good this year. I'm not a big Trevor Lawrence guy. And
the spread.
Bills aren't throwing the ball that much, but it seems to be working.
It's the James Cook show, and I think that there's a good reason for it to be a James Cook show.
Working. I like what they're doing, and I'll take Buffalo.
Spread's -4.5. I like the spread too for Buffalo. I think it's going to be an easy win.
I'll take that. Yeah, I like Buffalo and Buffalo.
That's going to be the boring Monday night game, in my opinion. Actually, I take it back. I said that.
Cut that out.
I say that's going to be the boring Monday night game. They're both going to be probably pretty boring because then it's the Commanders at Cincinnati.
I'll take Cincinnati at home, get their first one of the year. Like I said, Jaden Daniels, along with all the other rookie quarterbacks this year, have not looked great.
That would be one of my locks. It's just the money line of this.
The money line. Yeah, I feel good about it. Cincinnati at home, first one. Yeah, I'm not going to really think too much about it. I'll take it. Now I've used my veto. And
we picked 3 underdogs, by the way, which is a good
for entertainment purposes only. Do I truly believe this will happen? No, but we talked about it, and I was hesitant.
Don't do it again. Don't.
You ready? What do I give you a countdown? 3, 2. I'm vetoing the Panthers.
You think the Panthers got it?
Give me the Panthers.
No, Red Rifle.
Put it in, man. I'm speaking it into existence.
You thought about it
before bed every night. I'm gonna get to my bed
and talk about Red Rifle
over it just like this. Red Rifle.
Red Rifle.
They're gonna squeak it out. It's not gonna be a pretty game. But I see the headline now. Panthers win first game of the year with Andy Dalton under center. What happens first? The headline won't be that long, but they're gonna be something like that.
Did I speak that? Did I plant that seed in your brain?
Yeah. I see it now, man. I see it. Panthers win the first game of the year behind Andy Dalton. And then it's gonna be like that little sub headline, you know what I'm talking about? And it's gonna be like, what's next for Bryce Young? Yeah. I see it, man. It's gonna be all over the Carolina Chronicles.
I'm glad you bet them so that I don't have to.
Do it. Lock it in. Veto Carolina Panthers.
I really enjoy our underdog picks this week. Actually, I'm almost glad he did that. Actually,
I'm happy about it.
I'm almost glad he did that because
I don't even remember who they're playing. I'm just picking them.
they're playing the Raiders.
Fucking lock it in.
But if they were playing like the Saints, you couldn't pick them. Or could you still pick? Would you still pick them if they were playing the division?
No, I mean if it was different. Yeah, if it wasn't the Raiders, I probably wouldn't have done it.
Yeah,
the Raiders are beatable.
What if it was someone like the Colts, where you're a Packers fan? Get over there.
I wouldn't say no.
Yeah.
Holy shit, dude.
2 bones? How much do you think 2 bones gets for this massive parlay with all these picks that we have?
Probably like 2,200, something like that.
Way higher.
Way higher. Was it like $7,000?
A little higher.
No shit. $9,000?
$10,000. Almost 11.
Fucking lock it in, dude. 2 bones.
Dude. No, this is devious. This is a devious.
2 to win $10,000, dude.
This is devious. This is devious.
God damn. I can finally see my kids again.
Cody doesn't have
Just
kids.
But if I did, I'd be able to see him again.
You'd be able to see him every day. Shedding tears. All right.
That's crazy.
It's been a lot, dude.
Fucking lock it in.
Dude, I'm hyped now, dude. We're going to be watching those Panthers.
I've never watched a Panthers game in my life, I think, outside of the Super Bowl against the Broncos, whatever year that was.
Yeah.
This will be probably my first Panthers game I watched since then.
Wow.
Man, I'm fucking ready, dude. Dude, if they win.
We might have to watch that Panthers game, dude.
All right, well, while we're on, the topic of picking games, to reiterate, Jack and I are doing Survivors. Jack is a nice 2-0.
I'm 2-0. I'm undefeated.
1-1. We're on the winning. We're on the, we got a 1 in the win column this week. Let's see. Who did I used Cincinnati and I used the Jets, so I can't pick either of those teams. Oh yeah, that's another thing. Once we pick a team, we can't pick them again.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go.
And whoever has the best record at the end of the year will get a surprise. We'll figure it out.
What that is, we don't know.
I already know how I'm going. I don't even have to think about it.
I'm gonna go. Man, this is tough. Who are the Browns playing again?
Giants. It's not a bad pick.
Give me the Browns. I'll take the Browns this week. Browns over Giants. Yeah, I'll take them. I'll take the Browns. I'll take the Browns as my Survivor this week.
Okay, I like that pick.
I'll take them.
Do you remember who I picked in week 1? I'm going to take in the Dolphins.
It was the Dolphins.
It was the Dolphins.
Yeah, you took Dolphins.
Okay, then I'm going to go the same division. I'm going to take the Jets this week.
Jets, okay.
I'm going to lock on the Jets against the Patriots.
It's fair. It's a good one.
I'm going 3-0, baby. I'm going 3-0.
Week 1, I bet against the Patriots and I lost, so I'm hoping. I mean, competitive-wise, I'm hoping same happens to you, but friend-wise, I hope it doesn't. All right, those are it. I got the Browns to hopefully move to 2-1, and you got the Jets over Patriots. Again, thank you guys to Get Right. Thank you, Jack, again for coming.
Yes, sir.
And thank you guys all for watching. Until next week, adios.